Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about the game After the Bomb from Palladium Games. Now, I don't think I've ever spoken about this game before, but after 1,100 videos, I gotta be honest, I'm not 100% positive on that. Now, people have spoken disparagingly about Palladium games in the past, and for good reason. I consider the rules to be just one massive cluster. Just imagine you take a first edition D&D game, you house rule it for years, and then you roll those house rules out as your own system. To me, that's exactly what Palladium rules feel like. It's just insanity. I've tried to run it using the Palladium system in the past, a number of different genres, and I just can't do it. It's a mess. But I love this game in particular, and this is the second edition version of the game. Make sure you look at the cover and see the difference. Kind of busy, but it's a picture of a mutant elephant picking up a robot. There's a bunch of mutant animals in the foreground. And this is written by Eric Wujcik, W-U-J-C-I-K. And it is one of the best role-playing products I have ever read, and proudly consider it part of my collection. What I love about this book is not the rules, because I don't like the rules. It's the system they came up with for creating mutant animals. Now, After the Bomb, it's a post-apocalyptic game, and it takes place at some point in the future on the East Coast of the United States. The exact time is, left up to the GM, but it takes place after the point where bioengineering becomes the norm. It becomes common. It becomes a hobby. People can create life forms and modifications of existing life forms pretty much anytime they want to. The way that we have hobby electronics now, people creating little robots and little gadgets and, their home lightsabers and lasers and little funky Arduino boards and things like that. Well, in the future, they can do that with biology. And that pursuit is what leads to the end of the world. It starts a chain reaction, actual warfare breaks out, bombs start flying in all directions, and, it all comes crashing down. In the aftermath of that, out of the ashes rise a number of different races of mutant animals. So this isn't a post-apocalyptic game where there's a lot of wahoo mutations. There are a few. There are some psychic rules. There are a few actual out-and-out mutant powers, but there's very few of them. You could, in fact, run this game without any of them whatsoever. The strong suit here is the ability to take real-world animals and uplift them into functioning characters with fully sapient minds, with hands, with the ability to speak, while still maintaining some of their animal characteristics. And I am going to pick one at random. And we'll do the monkey here. Now, what they do is that at the beginning of each design, you are given a list of animals, and each animal has a specific number of points to play with. They're called biological energy points, or bio-E points. And these are based on, at least initially, on pretty much the size of the creature. So the larger the creature is, the fewer points you have. And the smaller the creature is, the more points you have. And you use these points to buy characteristics that will allow you to play a mutant animal in this world. And the characteristics you can buy are how much does it look like an animal. If you spend no bio-E points on looks, it's going to look just like an animal, or as close to the animal as you can get with the other modifications you've made to that animal, that character. But you could also spend points and you can make a cat that looks perfectly human. They're not human. And if they were to breed, they're going to breed as a cat. But they could look perfectly human. Now, they have a size chart, and the size chart goes from 1 all the way up to 20-something, and you can buy up the size of a creature by spending bio-E points, or you can save bio-E points by lowering the size. For example, if you're playing an elephant and you want some bio-E points, you sell off some size levels, boom, 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 you get a smaller elephant, you get points to spend on other things. Sorry about the fan. And for example, so you end up with a size 4 monkey. That's the standard. That's off the shelf. That's what the monkey looks like. Gives you the size, weight, and build. And the builds are short, medium, and long. Basically, how the body shape is. A stocky, medium build, or a long, lanky build. Then it gives you your total BioE points from the start, which is 45, and it gives you a bunch of attribute bonuses, which is all based on the Palladium system. But as I said, since I'm not really concerned with the Palladium system so much, I'm just going to skip those. But you usually get some kind of bonus or penalty depending on what race you're playing. Then you have the human features, and these are how much you would need to spend to acquire them. For example, hands. You automatically get partial hands. Monkeys already have hands that are very similar to humans, so you got right out the chute. You don't have to pay any points, and you have partial hands. They're clumsy, or they aren't good at fine manipulation, but they could swing a club. They could do things like that, and they could probably fire a pistol with a slight penalty. Or you could spend 5 points and get fully functional hands. They're just as good as ours. Biped, they automatically get partial. Monkeys can stand upright to a certain extent and walk upright to a certain extent. But if you decide to spend 5 points, you can become fully bipedal, which is a big advantage if you want to move around and carry something in your hands at the same time without a penalty. Then we have speech. It costs 5 BioE points to get partial speech. If you don't buy anything, you can't speak. 5 gives you rough, growly, animalistic speech impediment. Your friends could probably understand you if they've been around for a while, but the other people are going to have a hard time. Or you spend 10 and you have perfect speech, as fluent, or at least as close to fluent as mine is. Then you have looks. You start out partial, because monkeys are very similar to humans in their overall stature and appearance. So if you don't want to spend any points, you already look kind of human-like. So there you go. Or you could spend 5 points to get full, and you'd look just like a small human if you didn't change your size. You'd be a person that's like 22 inches tall, but you'd look like a person. A little weird, but that's what your thing is. And then you get into some of the other abilities you can buy. Natural weapons. They have a small bite damage. If you'd like to take that, it'll cost you 5 points to buy it. Then you get into mutant animal powers, and some of these are tiers. For example, if you spend 5 points, you get advanced vision, which is better than human vision, kind of like kind of night vision, not quite night vision, because you spend 10 points to get actual night vision, like animals have. Or you could spend 15 points to get advanced touch as well. So you can spend 30 points right there, have 25 points to get night vision and advanced touch. You have better touch than a human does. Other things you can buy is prehensile feet, which is quite handy. You could get things for extra limb, tail. You can also buy up your statistics, your character's stats. You can give increased intelligence quotients, mental affinity, mental endurance. Monkeys are more resilient than some animals. You can physical prowess. You're dexterous. Your physical beauty. Monkeys can be cute. You can take advantage of that. You can also buy up strength, because monkeys are primates. They can be strong for their size, so you can do things like that. You can also get a number of different leaping abilities. You can spend 10 points to have leaping like a rodent, or 20 points to have leaping like a feline if you're very good at leaping. You can also have a righting reflex, so as you were to fall, you automatically turn yourself around so you land the way you want to land. And you can also take some penalties to get points back if you want to make your character bigger. You don't want to be 22 inches tall. So you want to play a bigger character, you can take some disadvantages to get bio points back to make you bigger, or buy another ability. For example, you can take Vestigial Tail. You have a tail, it does nothing. It is always in the way. You can do Diet Herbivore. Your character can only eat plants. That's a penalty because it means that you're not an omnivore, so you can get some points back that way. You can take Nocturnal. Your character does not function well in the daytime. Or you could take Domestication. You will come from a long lineage of animals that were bred for research or pets or something, so you have an automatically kind of a docile way of looking at the world. Now, What's the beautiful thing about this is there's lots of mutant animals in here. There are dozens and dozens of them. And they are so much flexibility in designing. I've read this book dozens and dozens of times because I just run through it and speculate how would I design a character with this animal. But the best thing is they have animals in here that are genetically stable species. Species that over time have kind of Darwinian natural selection have shaken out these species and they become stable, so they breed true. Every member of the species is not a unique creature by having to spend bio-E points to create themselves. They come out of the chute with either a very set of abilities with a few points to spend, or they might come out of the chute with nothing to spend. They are absolutely set. There is a throwback dinosaur from back breeding chickens. There is a number of domestic animals that became very stable, and so they're very common. There are lots of pig species in here because pigs are one of the animals that we have genetically modified the most in the real world, and this game reflects that. This game has the spider goat because we in the real world have genetically modified goats, that species of goats, to produce spider silk in their milk because spider silk is useful, and this is a way of getting lots of spider silk. But these creatures are a fusion of spider and goat, and it is simply the most awesome mutant animal in the game. I love this system. I don't like the Palladium rule set, but this is the best mutant animal system I have ever seen designed by anybody. It just floors me. It is so much fun to read. I just go through this and I'll check it again and again, just because all the different ideas I can come up with. This is how I would make the optimum otter. This is how I would make the optimum elephant, or the optimum ferret, you know what I mean? Or the optimum spider goat, or the turtle, you know. This is the kind of thing that I just geek out about, and this game is all about geeking out about a post-apocalyptic mutant animal species. So, if you're into the post-apocalyptic genre, this is a must-have for you. Buy the second edition, not the first edition. This is a superior edition to the first one. It has a decent background describing the East Coast of the United States, so you can very easily plunk an entire campaign into that setting without a problem. This is back compatible to the first edition, so there's a number of supplements out there for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles version of After the Bomb, so all of those supplements could be ported into this without any difficulty. And if you can get past the Palladium rules, this is simply the best system for creating mutant animals I have ever seen. Now, I would love if someone were to take this system and put it into a game that was better, a rule system that just was more sensible and not Kevin Sabedia's Palladium system. I think the man's a bit of a loon, and I would love if my favorite mutant animal system could distance itself from said lunacy. So, like I said, I can't recommend this enough. Go, read it, find it, get a copy. You will not regret looking at these rules. They are just fun from beginning to end.